Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I would like to discuss the current status of the car, especially electric car, and of course the car of the future. Not too long ago we thought that electric vehicles were some sort of like a utopia for dreamers, for people who never had the ability to conceive the present with the fossil fuel. Nowadays the current situation has totally changed, and we have a big car maker like Tesla Motors who successfully established its brand through model the S, the number 3 and the X, and other companies started to follow suit and started developing their own automated system driving. For example, Google eventually came up with its own device of an electric vehicle featuring a self-driving system, which is very successful. And news from less than a month ago, beginning of May, an article appearing on the Autoblog website, autoblog.com, features an article writing about Google and Fiat Chrysler Automotive. They will build autonomous minivans, and they have made this joint partnership working on 100 Pacifica hybrid minivans. So this is actually pretty good news, considering the fact that implementing self-driving vehicle onto an existing car, and not basically Google reshaping the car by making its own little buggy car, a little cute car that drives people around. Here we're speaking about existing car that will transport people, families, workers, and everything basically will change. We'll have a different prospect, different approach on driving now. So a self-driving vehicle has the capability of becoming a very positive force in the automotive industry, but also in our daily life. So society will approach technology in a different way. A self-driving vehicle is very important. It's important for two reasons. Number one, it is not an active way of driving. It will be a passive for the people. The driver will sit with the passengers, will input destination, and eventually will reach its destination. Whereas the cars of today, it's an active experience where the driver is in charge of the car. And by removing the human factor, we also remove the human error. Think about this. Now, having like self-driving vehicle, what it's going to do is going to shape the way we consider how we safety system. It has been proven already that Google has implemented this self-driving system, and it's very safe. It's very safe, and not only that, but the only time that an accident ever happened with a self-driving car was when it was hit by a human, by another driver. So there we go. This is the proof that in the next probably 10 to 20 years, everybody will safely drive the car. Accidents will be reduced probably to a minimum amount, but also insurance rates will probably go down. Will probably go down the middle, because it's a human factor to drive the price up. The premium it's higher, the accident, the driver. So it will be quite interesting to see and to witness a totally new approach on insurance and how we safety and standards. Going further, we can also consider that the experience of driving will be secondary now. So you wake up your day, go to work, open the door, go into your driveway, or park on the side of the curb. You go into your car, you input your destination, and you go to work. Now, fairly short commute. But in the car, don't drive. We're just passengers. The driver become a passenger. And this is a very important point in the history of the automotive industry. Everybody is a passenger now. The driver is the car in itself. So when we do have a vehicle that drives people to work or to any other commute, the way we approach the experience inside the car has now shifted to a totally different level. When you're witnessing, we are being passionate, we witness the surrounding. We become sort of like tourists that get charted around. And one of the other things that we also have to consider is that as technology for electric cars improves very, very exponentially, very quickly, we also have to think that the fossil fuel industry will shape as well. How? It's a bit difficult to say now, but one thing that is for sure is that the fossil fuel, the carbon, the oil industry will continue to fight for its hegemony and survival. cars that now they run on electricity, on batteries, like Tesla, or eventually the Google car, and many other manufacturers, now will cater to a different public. Think about this. When you do drive, suddenly you are going through places that you probably never know, because you will download itineraries created by other people. So you'll be sort of like witnessing a new aspect of car driving. Also for long haul, so picture family, they're going on holiday, they will safely drive across the country through the night. They won't even stop at a hotel. Probably will stop for food or for bathroom break, but they will sleep in their car, and this tends to be an exponential and big volume of people that do the same. What we'll experience is that the transportation system, as we know it, will change. And what we have right now is how not only this will shape and reshape actually industry, but how the industry itself and the travel industry will answer to that. Probably we'll have the whole industry that will side with the airline industry and the hotel industry, and put together to hold any bills, any law that passed to allow the Google car, or any other self-driving car, or even the electric car, to continue to develop, to become even stronger. And this is actually sad news, because if things really were to happen, what we'll see is progress, positive progress, sustainable progress being halted. Cars have been, like we mentioned before, when we spoke about the walkable city, always meant personal freedom, especially in the Western world, in countries, larger countries like the United States or Canada. Well, spaces are way, way bigger than the rest of the old continent. So the mantra of the car being the number one tool for people to literally travel and see new places will most likely be reshaped from top to bottom. However, rather than become hostile, we have to embrace positive change for two reasons. The first one is for us abandoning the pollutant, the oil, the petrol. We won't be using gas vehicle anymore. The second one is we'll make highways and roads way safer. And this is one of the important things that is pushing for self-driving vehicle. Picture 15, 20, 25 years from now, 50% of the world cars is actually electric or hydrogen or somehow hybrid. Think how progressively we have come to this point, how far we've come to this point. And think how society will change. We won't hear the noise as we used to. Electric cars have this very gentle, subtle humming sound that the electric motor make. Not only the sound will change in cities, we won't hear anymore the vibration, the loud noise, the rush hour always generates. So everything will pretty much shift towards a new approach in the next 10-20 years, a new approach towards a cleaner and much greener cities. Also, remember that it's not only that we won't be using any more petrol or gas to commute with our cars, but what is disappearing with electric vehicles is also all the byproduct that's been around the whole industry. So we won't use any more motor oil. We won't have any more this issue of where do we place this exhausted motor oil? There's a black goose that has to be put somewhere once it runs out, once it has liquid. Now, electric motor works on a totally different principle. They have higher performance. The torque is much higher in delivery or at the very beginning of the acceleration. So it's not about saying, oh, but electric cars, they're not reliable because the batteries are not an extended range, and I'm afraid I'm going to get stuck in the highway. Well, it won't happen, because manufacturers like Tesla have already thought this way before building the car. It's how do we build a sustainable grid for the sustainable car? So car manufacturer came up with a solution of developing a sustainable solution for the grid where a car could stop and recharge the batteries. Also, working on towards new technology to make batteries even last long, as it's always a work in progress. So once in a while, once in a half, then we see how the new models from Tesla or Nissan or Mitsubishi or any other car manufacturer come up with the latest technology. And even in a year or probably 2-3 years from now, we will enjoy longer trip with electric cars. But we're not discussing about traveling from our homes to around the corner and then getting out of juice and halfway through. We're speaking of something in the range of close to 300 miles. So which allows you for plenty of trip. And along these 300 miles the furthest the battery can drive you, you will have the ability to recharge the battery once again. So there's unless you start going crazy on the highway or making donuts in the middle of the section, there's no way you're going to run out of the batteries on your trip. But just like anything, when you drive your car, you know that you plan your route if you're going on a long trip. So you know ahead if there are any gas stations. So unless you're running a car powered by solar panels, you always have to plan ahead to know where you can get either your petrol or, in this case, battery recharged. Cars, they don't have to be all standardized, made with a cookie cutter. We can make cars for the years to come, all shapes and sizes. You can now go into a Nissan dealership and buy the Nissan Leaf. It's a nice, cozy hatchback car that it has its own mileage. You can take it, you can drive it, you can go to work, go to shop, go pretty much commute anywhere, as long as you always keep track of your battery level. And you can charge at home. There's also ability to fast charge. Tesla recently came out March 31st with the Model E, gorgeous model, sports, almost like a sports car. It's a very, very sexy sedan, similar to the Model S. And of course, the design that ties them together is that a sports car, low profile, very aerodynamic, that it's meant to basically reduce the drag. Tesla Model E has the last month has racked up close to 400,000 orders. 400,000. It's a staggering amount of pre-orders. 400,000 is close to 500,000 vehicles, or almost 500,000 electric cars will be delivered by the end of 2017 and in the coming 2 years. So the order will be fulfilled after 2017, 2018, 19, and 20. Yeah, these are long waiting time, but we are not speaking of your average sedan. Many people now are understanding that it's a long-term commitment. It's when you do buy your house, your apartment, your single home on the paper from the contractor, from the builder. It's something that it won't be delivered tomorrow, it won't be delivered a year from now. It takes many, many months. So people who buy this car know already. So it's not about curious people that says, oh, well, let's just buy it for the sake of it. These are people who have already understood the concept of car. That Tesla, it's not just another car. It's not another vehicle. It's a concept. It's a new way of life. Because it is. If you do accept the fact that you're going to spend $30,000, $40,000, plus or minus a few, given the taxes and freight charges and delivery charges, think that it's not just the same as you would buy your car before. The new customer that will receive this car in the next 3 to 4 or 5 years are going to get into a totally new design experience. No more gas stops, no more spare parts, no more endless surcharges of fuel, no more oil changes, no more ruining the environment, and no more many other things that the current cars have been bogged down. Because think about this, technology and the concept of the piston engine, it's old. The cars are new, but they're always being powered by a concept that's been over 100 years old. So despite the many advantages of better mile per hour that the recent cars and technology have been putting through, it's still a new concept. So you have to think that putting electric cars on the road, making them available for everybody at a fair price, it's happening right now. It's not something of the future that you see in movies. It's not something that it comes out of science fiction book. It's happening right now. There are people who still buy and spend a lot of money for cars that have a poor mileage. They're willing to spend $50,000. Why don't you take this money and spend it on an electric vehicle that is, in the long run, is the best investment? So it's always about thinking that you're investing money, time, energy, and you're approaching a new lifestyle, not for the next 1 or 2 years, but for the years to come. Think about, you will drive this car for at least the next 10 years. And this is worrisome for the car industry. They always rely on reliable products. They need oil change, they need more gas, they need additives to be put into the fuel, and so on and so on. Mechanics making a lot of money around the servicing of the old petrol engine. Once electric car will have their own say, and there will be basically way less petrol cars around. Only then will we look back with disgust at how long we have been driving gas cars, how long we've been doing the wrong thing, but the fact that we ought to think ourselves a very lazy, greedy people, and we went along and we always perpetrated the easy peasy culture of let's take the car and drive everywhere. So for the next years, all those 400,000 people, pretty much that is the number that I'm reading on this article. It was stating how it's Fortune.com stating that it's the 400,000 for the Model 3, so it's a great number. Now, it is a long ways in time, but then again, people know this already. People put this into account. They weren't going to get the car in the next 6 months, even though nowadays there's still traditional cars that still take months to get, sometimes up to 1 year. It depends according to the maker. Many people in the past, even purchasing regular cars, will experience delays from production to delivery. So even when I myself, I did experience delaying in purchasing and having the car delivered at the dealership. So it's not something that, to me, in my opinion, come out as a surprise. 400,000 Model 3 car by the end of 2020 it's a good number, and I do hope that Tesla can keep up the pace. Tesla is investing many billions. They recently built in the States a new manufacturing project, I think it's in Colorado if I'm not mistaken, and it will put many people to work. It will provide many new jobs. Of course, not only the class assembly manufacture, but also research and development. Because in the world of the car of the future, research and development is everything. It's new batteries, better tires, better performance, new materials that will be used to manufacture the chassis, the body, the car. Right now, we have cars being built with metal, with steel, with aluminum. And they still have a toll because they weight a lot. Even though we have to think that Audi 20 years ago came up with the aluminum body, and I think right now it's pretty much a standard for Audi cars, and they help reduce the fuel consumption by removing the excessive weight from the car. Research and development will be the backbone of the electric cars. And eventually, even Toyota, that threw itself into building the hydrogen car, will have to push 100% to match with its rival. So I don't know if Toyota right now will build new cars based 100% on the hydrogen technology, and will continue eventually with a hybrid, skipping the electric section on their business practice. We'll have to wait and see. Although the electric cars, it's now 100% reality. It's not anymore utopia. It's doable. It's happening. It's not even that expensive anymore. Again, $30,000 plus another few $1,000 compared to nowadays cars where people are wasting their money of $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 car that really have poor mileage, and they come such a high price tag, and there's not too much of a difference from cars that cost $30,000. You're just paying for gadget and gizmos that eventually other cars will catch up. Tesla right now has a beautiful interior design concept of implementing even lighter materials, new synthetic materials. We have this huge, I think it's a 17-inch monitor that Tesla has. So it's the panel, so it's the main console, it's a fat panel monitor, it's a screen. The future is right here, as we have to accept it. You have to start to be in denial that electric cars won't take off anymore. They already did, and they've been flying cruise for the past 10 years. But the fact that many people say it won't, it's simply because they've been in denial. They've been in denial, afraid of change, afraid of positive change whatsoever. The future belongs to a more sustainable car, a more sustainable vehicle, a more sustainable philosophy. And it is for the good. It's a good investment. It's a good endeavor. It is moments where we have to trust ourselves. Well, we'll gain a lot. And all that we gain will because we'll put enough trust and effort on what was before seen as some sort of doom scenario on a totally unbelievable utopia.